Hi guys, welcome to Fierce and Pretty. Let's do a quick comparison between the Alchemical Tarot first edition from 1995 and the Alchemical Tarot Renewed 5th edition by Robert M. Place. So this is the newest edition that is currently available in his website. So the first edition comes in this flimsy big box. It has a really great book, and the backs of the cards look like that. The 5th edition comes in this really nice green box. First I thought when I looked at it that it was velvet or something, but it's really like a cotton fabric. It has a snug fit, but it's easy to open. And we see that the cards are gilded. And in this edition, the guidebook is really simple, just containing the keywords. So here are the backs side by side. The first edition is wider, but shorter. Here you see the difference in width. And the new edition is just like 1 millimeter longer or something. Short difference in sizes. When it comes to thickness, the 5th edition is quite a lot thicker. What I especially love about this 5th edition is the quality of the cards and the sound that it makes when you shuffle. I don't know what it is in this material, but it makes a beautiful sound when you shuffle it. Let's do that afterwards when we have checked the cards. So the borders are different. In the first edition we have the bigger borders, and in the new one it is consistent in every card. There are no differences between them. The coloring is brighter in the first edition than it is in the 5th edition. It's more muted, more earthy colors, and we do get a lot more of these alchemical symbols. As you can see, the colors are so much brighter, and also in the first edition all the majors have this yellow box where the title is, and in this new edition it's a gray one, and then there's some red also in the letters. But also with the Magician we do get a lot more alchemical symbols and the zodiac signs there. But there are even more layers in this deck. And if you do like elemental correspondences, I highly recommend this newer version, because they are all here. All the elements can be seen. For example, there is a small triangle for fire inside the fire. There is water there. There is air, but we do have earth there. But if you like them in the suits and everywhere, that's a nice addition. A big color difference in the sky and the whole mood of the High Priestess also. And this is actually the first time for me when I'm looking these side by side, and it's surprising to see how much brighter the first edition is. And the 5th edition is so much muted, but the colors in this are also really beautiful. But what we don't have in the majors, we don't have the zodiacal correspondences anywhere like we do have in the Thoth deck, for example. But this is an alchemical tarot, so all the markings are, all the symbols are aligned with that idea. Also the images are bigger. You can see the Hierophant being so much bigger in this new edition compared to the first, even though the first is brighter. The Lover's card, we do have 2 options where we can choose in the 5th edition. We have the same, the censored version. There's a bit difference. The moon is different there, and the colors and everything, but we do have a choice to choose the uncensored version of the Lovers, which is a bit more active imagery than the first edition one. I opted to use this one and keep the other one out of the deck. Here we do have the Salt, Mercury and Sulfur signs inside the wheel in Chariot, but we do have them outside also. We have the Mercury, Sulfur and Salt here also represented in the card with the horses and with the driver. The beautiful sunset yellow is no more present in the new version of the Justice card. Also a small difference inside the Hermit's Ouroboros there. The Ouroboros is empty in this one, and here we do have this. One funny thing that we noticed with my hubby when this came, because he actually has a tattoo of this image in his arm, but look how the colors have been changed. The white dragon with the crown has become the red dragon here with the crown, and the red one without the crown has become white. And also we do have a lot more alchemical symbols in the 5th edition. In this version the lion is much more green in the strength card. Here it's rather yellowy. I like how all the images are bigger and clearer in the 5th edition. There is quite big size difference between the images on top of the color differences. And you do actually see better also the faces, the expressions. The star card has changed a lot. There's no blue in the sky anymore. It's like brown rays coming out of the star. But we do have the same planetary symbols inside the stars there. And the moon and the sun, they now have faces. The mood card, I love the mood in the new version in this one. The sun card is also a lot more muted. And here we see the color of the cross behind. Here it's white, and it's now changed to this same dark grayish blue that the borders are behind the Dancer in the World card. I think I'll just let you check out the minors yourselves, and I'll have a pause if I have something special to say, but let's check the images more. Here the boy has only changed hair color. On top of that, not much changes. And here we do have the old planets. Here's also a good example how the elemental symbols are a lot more easier to spot in the new edition, because here they are bright red, and here, for example, the earth sigil, the earth sign is really small between the leaves, but here you can see it clearly. One difference here, we do have these black, yellow and red dots between the ladies in the Three of Vessels. And also we do have fire coming out of here. And like here, many of the symbols that already existed in the first edition are just transformed into red. In the Eight of Swords, this demon-looking creature, he has wings now, and he's locked to the ground with that chain. So it kind of, for me at least, brings out the card meaning in the Eight of Swords a bit better than just the old version. So small adjustments like these. Very many have changed their hair color. It's been hair dyeing at the Robert M. Place's workshop. And again, a lot more red present. Here the colors change a lot. The yellow dress is now like a bit reddish brown color in the new version. So I can't say which version I like better. I like them both, but I'm happy to have the new edition. So, because with the first edition I am a bit more careful. I don't want to take it outside my house so much, and I want to preserve it a bit better. I still use it though, and I think the feeling in the atmosphere is a bit different in both. But the thing I love about in this deck the most is the sound and how it feels when you shuffle it. The gilding isn't too sharp for the hands. It's not the worst gilding that I have touched. It's quite okay, but it'll definitely get damaged with use. But I don't mind if the deck looks used. Then let's look at the riffle. Even there, the sound is amazing. I actually like the fact that the little book is so tiny that it can fit into the box easily, and it's not hard to get in or get out with the cards. And it's a good thing to have with you, because the difference in the Alchemical Tarot, for example, compared to Rider-Waite-Smith, there are differences. And I think with this deck it's a bit more contemporary. I find it very useful, for example, if I'm reading about job-related topics or something. Many of the interpretations by Robert M. Place are really useful for that, I think. A lot about what you find in this book is also available in the newer books by Robert M. Place. I do have one of them in Kindle, but I have this huge one on a real paperback copy. But actually I find that this old book with the first edition explains the card meanings themselves and goes deeper into the cards than in here where it, because in this book it just compares also between Marseille, Rider-Waite-Smith and the Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery. This book though is the best book about tarot history that I have ever read. It was fascinating. It was over 300 pages just about the history. I'm really loving it and really going to read this several times. But what this book also has, at the end of the card, we do have explanations for all the alchemical symbols. Even though I, as a Finn, even find some of these words confusing, and because they are alchemical concepts, so they are not the easiest ones, but they are interesting to learn. But I definitely do need to study this deck more for me to get the most out of it. But all the symbols are here and they are really, so this book is really useful even though it is humongous. I'm really happy that I got myself also this 5th edition. It is different from the 1st edition and in many points in a good way. Even though the colors are brighter in the 1st edition, I still love the overall feeling of the coloring in this version. If you still have any questions about the 1st edition or this 5th edition, I don't have the editions between there, the 3rd, 2nd and the 4th, so I can't compare with those. But I was really happy with the card quality in this 5th edition. Thanks for watching and see you next time again. Bye guys!